So again, if you could just start with your name and title.
Thomas C. Shull, Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Army and Air Force Exchange Service.
And if you could tell me what you're doing here today in the USGA Bavaria.
Well, as part of my job, I like to visit all the facilities worldwide. We're in all 50 states and 34 countries. So I always try to get out and visit with not just my associates, but most importantly to visit with the commands and with the troops who we serve. So I really have a good line of sight on what their needs are. And the tip of the spear is really the most important place to be, because this is where service members and their families put themselves at risk, their family members at risk. And so we always like to try to do everything we can at the tip of the spear, more so than even what we do in particularly the continental United States. It's so important to have a taste of home, a lifeline, if you will, to service members who serve in places like Grafewoehr.
Being the tip of the spear is what makes you different from other retailers. Can you expand on what makes the exchange different?
Absolutely. Well, starting off with, in Grafewoehr, we have mobile field exchanges that go out, and we have one in Poland, for example, that's serving the needs of service members in that remote area. We have it's a mini exchange, but it also has combat uniform items, and it has all kinds of supplies and that sort of thing, as well as free Wi-Fi, and we also provide for haircuts there in Poland, which are difficult to get. So it's those kinds of quality of life services that we provide literally at the tip of the spear, and we're so proud to be there with those service members and make sure that their day-to-day life is taken care of as they focus on the mission.
You've been with the exchange 5 years, correct?
Yes.
Could you tell me about the impact that you had on the organization?
Well, I had been a retailer for a long time. I was a soldier before then. I'm so proud of my service as a soldier. So to me, it's like coming back to my military family. It's not like coming back, it's literally coming back to my military family. I'm so proud of being able to serve again, even though my capacity is very different. But I certainly understand the needs of soldiers, and having served in the infantry and been deployed to not into combat, but fought forest fires and live fire exercises and all those kinds of things. So I understand the needs of soldiers. So combining that experience as a soldier with my retail experience enabled me to really understand what the needs were here, so that we could continue to really improve the dividend. My biggest goal is to increase the dividend to support quality of life programs, and that's including fitness centers, child development centers, libraries, all the things we do above and beyond just having a great retail experience. So ensuring that we're lean and we're efficient, so that dividend is sustained for years and years to come. We've put in, since I've been here, we've put over $1 billion into the dividend, and that is really important for all those programs I was just describing.
Could you expand a little bit on some of the programs that the exchange offers to soldiers?
Well, as I mentioned, combat uniforms below cost. We provide over 1.2 million combat uniforms a year, and it's way below cost. We do things like providing free alterations for wounded warriors for life. We have the Milstar card, which is a very low interest credit card, so that young soldiers can establish credit and be responsible in terms of how they handle their financial affairs. So we're a critical partner through the Milstar card in doing that. As I mentioned before, the fitness centers, we're so proud to be able to contribute to funding fitness centers, child development centers, and all the things we do are an integral part of the day-to-day life of soldiers. And also we have, for example, in our larger exchanges, we have a Be Fit focus where we have footwear with the active wear, the athletic wear together. So it's one-stop shop for their needs as it relates to being fit physically. And so it's every aspect of their lives, every touch point, whether it's free Wi-Fi, which we're moving towards, certainly free Wi-Fi in combat and in remote locations, a touch point so that they can communicate with all of their family members, either back in the States or where they're living here. So those are the kinds of things we do, but it's literally trying to be there for every aspect of their life so that their quality of life is improved.
That's a lot. Can you expand on what's going to happen in the future? What do you see coming in the next 5-10 years for the exchange?
I think we're going to have to be even more nimble. I think there are going to be more deployments. I think we're going to push the limit as it relates to being out, particularly into Eastern Europe. So we need to be there with our mobile field exchanges, and we've been building these now for 3 or 4 years, and they're great examples of how we can literally get them out into the combat area or the training area well in advance of the needs, and then provide for their needs. So I can see it as we expand more, providing for those needs in those remote locations, which I think will expand. And then in Korea, not just to mention that briefly, Camp Humphreys is going to be opening in December, our big store there, and all the facilities there on Camp Humphreys, which is going to be providing the needs of 30,000 service members and their families in the middle of Korea. And as everyone knows, that's a very scary part of the world, just like this is as well. But making sure their needs are taken care of is so important. So that's another area of focus in the next 3 to 4 years is Korea.
And what do you think of the exchange and its team? What do you think about the teamwork that happens here?
Well, I think it's the passion is unprecedented. I've been doing this for a long time, over 3 decades, running companies or being part of running companies, and the team here is much more passionate typically than your typical retailer, and especially when you think 80% are connected to the military of our associates. They're either active duty, retirees, dependent spouses, or extended family members. So we're so excited to have them on the team, and they have a level of passion you just don't see at a place like Walmart or Target or even a Macy's. And I worked at Macy's, and I can tell you for a fact that our associates are so much more passionate about making sure the needs of service members and their families are met. So that makes a big difference. Now I do want to make an announcement. We're about to launch the Veterans Online Shopping Benefit. We're extending the benefit online only at shopmyexchange.com for 13 million veterans who served honorably. So if you didn't get to 20 years service, you will be able to shop online for the rest of your life. And that's being launched Veterans Day of this year. So this is a huge initiative. We're going to welcome home 13 million vets back to their military family.
Awesome. Anything else you want to?
No, I think we're just really proud about that initiative, and just because so many service members don't get to 20, they may have family issues, maybe they've got parents who are not well, or they want to make sure and stabilize their family in the future, so they do get out of the Army before they're 20, but we honor their service because for me, my view is a 20-year letter is deserved, and we honor that. But on the other hand, those who have served honorably and have not reached 20 also, we think should get some benefits. Okay. One other thing I want to mention is we're really excited about our school lunch program. We've been doing this for decades. In fact, believe it or not, in the 50s and 60s, I was part of the school lunch program as a young dependent here in Europe, because I lived in Italy, France, and then later I graduated from Heidelberg High School, so I was always in the Dodge system, and I loved the school lunch program. But we provide, just at Grafewoehr, over 300,000 lunches per year, way below cost, so that the lunch program is a way for them to provide for the kids' needs and not have to pay too much, because on the economy it's more expensive. So really important, the school lunch program, and worldwide we have over 3 million school lunches that we provide every year.
Wow.